Welcome to another edition of the official Catchup. I'm joined again by Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Aye, not bad, mate.
And we're obviously joined by a familiar face or a familiar voice. We spoke to you before, Jonny Stewart for Bonnyrigg Rose. How you doing?
Not too bad, thanks. Yourself?
Aye, good. So I would just wanting to have a wee catch up and see how all the boys are doing around the league. We've been catching up with players, fans, gaffers alike, just to get a feel of how everybody's coping through this. You've been through the run of the mill over the weekend, I heard, yeah?
I've not been too great probably with it last week. A week past Friday, I started feeling pretty crappy. Sore head, sore body, everything really. So I was kind of been in my bed for about 4 or 5 days, just with a high temperature, really sore head, really sore like body joints, things like that. No energy whatsoever. So I was kind of bedbound for 4 or 5 days, but I've started to feel better the last couple of days, so fingers crossed that's me over the worst of it.
Oh, brilliant. So you're on the mend now, yeah?
I'm on the mend now, aye, yep.
No, that's good then. So now you're feeling a wee bit better, you're obviously, you're going to be having to fill your days with something. I suppose that's one of the big talking points. How are you sort of filling your days now that you're on the mend, now that we're all obviously in lockdown?
Well, the past week I've just been watching constant television, constant TV series, things like that, the usual nonsense on Netflix and things. And I've actually started playing Football Manager again on the laptop. I used to play that all the time, but I've got the laptop back out. I've been playing that again constantly for the last week while watching the telly. So that's been the past week. Now that I'm beginning to feel a bit better, I suppose I'll need to start going a wee jog and things like that and keep myself ticking over as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you don't know when this is going to come to an end and when it'll be time to get back onto the pitch. So it's a biggie. Obviously, you mentioned there about filling your time. So for folk who are listening that are maybe struggling for something to watch, what's your recommendation out of what you've been catching up with on the TV?
Last week I watched the 5 series of Ballers. Once I downloaded that, so that was pretty good. And at the moment I'm watching something on Netflix called Guilt. Which again is pretty good. There's a few twists and turns and things like that in there. So they're the ones I'm watching now. But I've watched all your old favourites, your Sons of Anarchy, Prison Break. They're probably two of my favourite. Line of Duty, How to Get Away with Murder. I think I've watched the majority of them, to be honest. I seem to have a lot of spare. That's all I do with it. So I've watched a fair few, but they're probably my favourites at the moment.
Yeah, there's some absolute belters in there. How to Get Away with Murder was one that I watched very recently, and that the next season of that, when it comes out, is going to be, well, it was a cliffhanger and a half that they left it on there, certainly. So some good recommendations. And your time spent playing Football Manager, you're a decent football player on the pitch. You do really well. Are you the same when you're in charge of the team? How are you finding your save?
I've done pretty well, to be honest. I started with Hearts, then I won the league in my 3rd season. And I've won it the last 3 seasons in a row now, but I can't seem to get the Champions League group stage. I always seem to be finishing 3rd in the group stage in the Champions League, so that's my next target, to try and get the group stages of that.
Aye, so that's sort of your mission then. You've not been enticed away from Hearts, or if you had offers but you've decided to stay with them?
I had a couple of offers on the game. I had an offer for Celtic, actually, one for Wolves. I think Newcastle as well, but nah, I've just stuck with Hearts. When I play the game, I didn't really like changing teams. If I'm going to change teams, I'll probably just start a new save, rather than take like another team 3-4 years in or whatever. I'll just kind of scrap that and start again if I get.
Fair enough. It sounds like it obviously fills up all the time, both of those things. You're catching up on your Netflix and your Football Manager, but you mentioned there, you want to get your fitness on track for getting back into football. When we last caught up with you were obviously on the mend a little bit. Your dad suffered through a couple of injuries and what have you. How's all that going?
To be honest, as bad as and as boring as the lockdown has been itself, because I'd kind of rushed myself back with my ankle injury. I know the last time we spoke, I started back training that week just before the Celtic game. I played the foot well, but my ankle probably still wasn't 100% right, to be honest. So that this wee breaks maybe gave me the opportunity, gave me the chance for my ankle totally to clear up. So fingers crossed whenever it does start back, that my ankle's totally on the mend and it's totally fine. and I'm good to go again. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'll need to get the running shoes on and start going some jogs and things like that, just to get my fitness up again, because I'd obviously lost quite a bit of that when I was injured. But I think we're going to have a wee bit of time to catch up on that, because God knows when we're going to start back up again.
Absolutely, and it'll probably come out of the blue as well. And I suppose the teams and the players that are on the ball, and because there's an element of training when you've got the rest of the boys at the team behind you that's going to push you. This individual sort of motivation that you're going to need to get through this time is going to be a bit of a difference maker, I think, when football comes around to resuming. How have you found that wee break with the football? You still keeping in touch with the club, or is it a bit quiet with uncertainty at the moment? Or
no, we've got obviously a players group chat which goes all day, every day anyway. It doesn't matter if it's off season or if it's during the season or what. The group chat with the boys goes constantly anyway, so that's just the same. Obviously it's a bit different, no physically seeing the lads 2 or 3 times a week. The manager's been in dialogue with us as well, just keeping us up to date with certain things and just passing on any information that the club have got. And also the chairman and some of the committee and things like that have been in touch now and again. So yeah, we've been in contact with everyone, but it's certainly strange not seeing everyone for, I think, 2-3 weeks now. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a close-knit team. You've been together for a wee while, so I'm sure perhaps more so than some other teams there as well. Looking at the actual football, we're obviously taking a break for it. Before the season did take that break, it looked as though Kelty had broke away a little bit with a 3-2 win at home, but a week later, BSC were able to take a few points back, and all of a sudden, before this outbreak, it looked like Bonnyrigg were right back in the race, and that's put a little bit of a spin on the conversation around what should happen with the end of the season, because it isn't a given who was going to run away with the league. What's your thoughts on what the next step when football resumes? It's obviously speculation because we don't know when that'll be, but what would you like to see happen? How would you like to see it play out?
To be honest, it's a difficult question. Obviously, it's the main topic at the moment. Everyone's talking about it. I don't know if there is a right way or a wrong way to do things, but for me personally, I think it's an ideal opportunity for the reconstruction. However that's going to work out or pan out, I don't know the ins and outs and the best way to go about it, but I do think Scottish football would benefit from a reconstruction. I know there's been talks about it before and things like that, and I do think that would be the way forward. You're not going to please every single team, but I think that'll stop any relegation, which could have a massive impact on some teams. So yeah, I think reconstruction's probably the best way to go forward, because it's as you said, I don't know when we're going to resume. I don't know if we even will resume. I don't know if teams in our level will finish the season, if they'll just scrap the remaining games left, or what. So I think some sort of reconstruction would be the best way forward.
And yeah, I think that's sort of a talking point that was a bit quiet, and it seems to be gathering a bit of momentum. But yeah, like you say, we'll have to wait and see what happens, and it's way above our heads, the guys that make that decision, probably quite thankfully, to be honest, because like you say, is a difficult one. When we were talking about your football manager saves a minute ago, you said that you went with Hearts. Is that your team then? Are you a Hearts man? Or?
Yeah, I've been a Hearts fan all my days, yeah.
So it's the predicament they're in just now, does that kind of cause a bit of concern when you think about, one of the options being null and void and Hearts facing relegation? Is that something that sort of plays in your mind a little bit as well? Obviously, it's out of control, but is it something you think about?
To be honest, when I mentioned the reconstruction there and about no being any relegations, I totally forgot about Hearts being bottom of the league. A very good chance of being relegated, to be honest. It's been a terrible season for Hearts. It's been a bit of shambles the last 2 or 3 years, to be honest. And they're in quite a bad place at the moment on the park. And I've not just said about reconstructions to save Hearts because I'm a Hearts fan. I do believe that's probably the best way forward and things like that for the good of Scottish football in the long run. So personally, I think that is forward. If they don't decide to do that, then I think some way or form they've got to play the remaining games. I don't think they can relegate teams or award teams the title at this stage. I think they've got to find a way, whether it's 2-3 games a week for 4 weeks or however long it takes or whatever it is. I think they've got to find a way to finish the season if they're not going to look at reconstruction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we spoke to quite a few people about this, and the Hearts situation comes up every now and again. And when you do speak to Hearts fans, you do kind of get that impression, but you can see they're very cautious about how you present that, because you don't want to come across like your views are pushed because Hearts are sitting at the bottom. When you speak to Hibs fans, though, it's exactly the same thing that they're saying, that they don't want to see Hearts relegated at this point in the season, because those derbies are massive for the SPL wide, to be honest. Getting back to Bonnyrigg Rose, they've been quite active just now with the no football on, and we've seen a couple of things coming out. We've seen the supporters getting behind the club and starting a GoFundMe page to help the team. I mean, the team's going to survive through this, there's no doubt about it, but to come out the end not weakened, if you like. And we've also seen Bonnyrigg with the initiative of inviting NHS workers along. I think that came out today to the first home game as well. So it's good to see that the club's still active. I suppose that there must be a sort of, does that add to the pride you've got playing for Bonnyrigg when you see this kind of stuff during a difficult time?
Yeah, definitely. It's maybe just all small gestures, but every little helps, and it's great to see the club, and it'll probably be Brendan in charge of the social media accounts and things like that. So it's great to see them doing their part where they can, been promoting quite a lot of local businesses and things like that. So it's probably just giving that little bit back to little businesses and local businesses who have supported us as well. So I know it's the club's got a real community feel about it. Also the committee and the first team and the managers and things like that we've got a good relationship and a close knit, but right round the community, like right through to all the boys clubs and then the supporters and things like that, everyone seems to be in it together at Bonnyrigg. So it's good to see, because it'll be challenging times probably for a lot of clubs at our level who aren't getting their income and things like that. And I think there's a lot of out saying that the players have agreed to take wage cuts or not even take any wages, which is good to see, because I hate to see any club go out of business or fold because of something that they can't physically help.
No, absolutely. And do you know what? It's this everything that's going on just now. It's not something anybody wants to see happening. But if there's one positive coming out of it, is that sort of sense of unity that you're seeing. The community's just worldwide. To be honest, you've got, you would much rather we were all maybe getting ready to Monday night football type thing today. But with everything that's going on, if there's a positive come out, is to see that community spirit even more so than before all this kicked off, I suppose.
Definitely.
Just Jonny, it feels like years ago that we talked, obviously up at Bonnyrigg. It feels like a completely different time. I've obviously you're saying you've been doing your FM. I can't play FM now, mate, because I play it competitively. So against the computer, it's just not the same feeling, and I always find it hard to watch shows if I've not seen them before, unless I've got someone there that's sort of seen it and talks me through it, sort of thing. So these are getting me through the days, mate, these chats with everyone, and I really appreciate you coming on. Did you hear about the Stenhouse Muir chairman? Obviously he's saying relegation off for 2 seasons. He's got a quote coming out the news saying everyone is pulling together, but Scottish football is still plodding forward, looking after self-interest. So
yeah, I read that during the week or whenever it came out, and I was quite surprised at it, to be honest. I think he's just looking after himself, looking after his own team.
Aye.
I think that would be pretty harsh and probably the wrong thing to do if they were to. I can't see how they could go ahead with that, but if they did for some reason, then I think that's pretty harsh on a lot of other clubs, and a bit of kick in the face to ourselves, to Kirtley, to other teams who are also trying to get promoted, and especially to ban it for 2 years. I just don't see the reason behind that.
So going back to obviously Bonnyrigg, and once, to be honest, this whole season's sort of put to bed. Next season we're probably going to see the introduction of the West of Scotland. It's a lot of teams there that you'll be familiar with from the time over in the juniors that are making the switch over to West of Scotland now. If you think about the Lowland League and the strength that's going to be added to over the next few seasons, is it something you look forward to, or do you think yourself and the club are kind of focused on getting to SPFL2 and perhaps not having to worry about the influx of teams coming over?
I think it's a good thing. Anything that's going to make it stronger and, more like have a larger appeal can only be good for the league and for Scottish football. At the moment, we're not really thinking about that side of it and thinking, oh no, there's going to be a couple of good teams for Glasgow joining the league next year or in a couple of seasons or however long it's going to take. We just focus on ourselves. As I said, no one knows what's going to happen with the outcome of this season, so it might be that we're not in the Lowland League next year, it might be that we are. So we'll just have to take it by ear and see what happens. Looking to next year, if we're still in the Lowland League, then so be it. It's been a great season for us so far, kind of outperformed everyone's expectations. If we're still in the Lowland League next year, then we'll give it our best crack again to go and try and win it and get promoted, because ultimately that is the aim. But we're in the game to win. We've got a good winning mentality and at Bonnyrigg in that changing room. So, we're not going to say we're happy finishing second or we're happy finishing third or whatever it might be. If we have to go again next year, then we'll give it our best shot again.
Yeah, I suppose if you are successful and you manage to make that step up, whether it's by way of the season finishing and you see a bit of success that way, or if it's reconstruction, whatever would lead to that, you should definitely be missed in the league, that's for sure, because it's an exciting team to follow.
What's your thoughts on what should happen at the end of the season or whatever?
I think I've sort of said that I'm in agreement with you. The reconstruction seems like, I think, the most sensible option out there, because you're going to have it whereby your guys at the top are going to feel like they're deserving of being promoted. But if it's close at the top, because you've got some leagues like the Lowland League, I think League One are really close, and then you've got leagues where you've got the likes of Dundee United way ahead, and your teams at the bottom, they're not going to feel like they should get relegated just now. So reconstruction's 100% seems like the right kind of way to go. If they don't go down that route, I think they have to finish the season, and if that means that your transfer window, one of the theories I've heard is extending that and just not having a transfer window, keeping it open for the whole season. And do you know what? We play football after the January window. Why can't we still play the summer one? I think we have to finish it off in some way. I don't know what Chris's views are still, but at one point I know Chris was kind of pro for just ending the season, putting it behind us and cracking on. I don't know if that's changed at all, but what's your thoughts on it, Chris?
Null and void for me if the season can't continue, but I would like to see it getting reconstructed. I don't believe any team should get the title or any team should be relegated, so it's a perfect time for reconstruction for me. But yeah, so that's probably my opinion on it. I don't think that's going to change because I don't think it's fair for like Vale leaving to get relegated, and I don't feel it's fair for Kelty to get the title. But yeah, reconstruction's a really good idea at the moment to give the team something, even if it's the top two from each league going up or anything like that. Yeah, but it's a hard decision either way. I don't think there's any easy answer. As I said, Jonny, thanks for coming on, and I really appreciate you chatting, and it's good to get a perspective from other boys around different teams, and obviously Bonnyrigg being 6 points off of Kelty, but a game in hand, and the game that would have been at New Dundas Park yesterday.
Yes, I know.
I can't see. I'd feel bad for you if you didn't get an opportunity to win the title or go up if it was to go down that line.
Fingers crossed, son. Fingers crossed reconstruction happen, or as I said earlier, I think some sort of way to finish the season to play the remaining games, whether it's the start of next season you cram them in, or I really don't know how, but I think if they're not going to do a reconstruction, I think they've got to try and finish the season somewhere for them.
It's definitely 100% tough decision, and I'm grateful for one that it's not me that has to make. Thanks again for coming on and talking to us. Hopefully, regardless of what happens moving forward, we'll get a chance to speak to you again in the future, but cheers for taking time and talking to us today.
No problem, thanks for the call.